Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs to win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all, loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start, Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats, Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa Bay, baby. 813 going crazy. Tampa, boy. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. And we in Tampa Bay, baby. Tell them where you from. 813 going crazy. Yeah. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. Now when I say the loose cannons, what? Do you know what I mean? I'm talking Bobby Latte, Stank Bastard, and Samurai Lee. You ain't never seen no her before, no podcast like this. These boys entertain you, then take you on road trips, go to other cities, raid and pillage, watch Bucs kick ass. If we in the stands and fans talk shit, we gon' whoop them fans. You'll see us in the red and pewter, with the white and black, might be high drunk as fuck. Straight talking smack if it's a home game. Best believe you gon' hear this chant. It be like B-U-C-C-A-N-E-E-R-S. B-U-C-C-A-N-E-E-R-S.
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is Thursday, July 31st, 2025, and you are watching the Loose Cannons podcast. I am your host, the Samurai Ali, and of course, as always, my trusted co-host, the return, by the way, of Poppy Latte and the pale one, Stank Bastard. Listen, Bucs Nation, I think y'all should stand up and sit up straight and show some damn respect tonight. Because joining us is a man who doesn't just work in the front office. He seemingly rewrote the playbook for how it's done in Tampa Bay. The architect of the greatest turnaround in franchise history. The man who lured the GOAT, yes, Tom fucking Brady, to Tampa when nobody thought it could even be done. The guy who built a Super Bowl winning roster in his sleep and then ran it back with swagger, savvy, and stone cold confidence. A GM who doesn't blink in the war room and definitely doesn't flinch under the lights. This past April, he added another gem to the legacy with a surgical 2025 draft class that's already turning heads at camp and might just be the foundation of the next Bucs dynasty. And while other franchises bleed talent every offseason, he's made it an art form to lock down the core, keeping key players from walking year after year after year after year. And you think that happens by luck? No, it doesn't. That's elite front office chemistry, boys. And he's got one of the best damn squads in the business behind him in that front office. Since taking over in 2014, this man has racked up a Lombardi trophy, multiple playoff runs, countless division titles, franchise-defining picks like Mike Evans, Tristan Wirfs, Chris Godwin Jr., and Antoine Winfield Jr., and the list will be longer. I promise you that. Oh, and let's not forget, this man's very first ever draft pick as an NFL GM, a fucking future Hall of Famer, Mike frickin' Evans. He's also a man who knows a thing or two about boat parades, post-game beers, and shotgun formations on and off the field. He's a certified Loose Cannons Hall of Famer, and he didn't buy that title. We gave it to him the hard way. He's one of the most respected executives in the entire league, and more importantly, our guy, Jason Licht. Jason, welcome back to the Loose Cannons podcast. Let's talk some shit.
Well, we're almost out of time, right? I told you.
I mean, unbelievable.
That's all, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Can you send me that? I need that. I need this.
Oh, absolutely. It's recorded.
Make it your alarm in the morning. Just wake up to that. You know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we don't even need to be here. That was it. I'm good.
That was it. That's the whole
we
thing.
had a
Man,
great
you filled my
run.
cup.
Might be the best episode we've ever had. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Don't forget to like and subscribe, though. I completely forgot that part. Check us out on loosecannonslive.com. Jason, first of all, do you see that beautiful stud at the bottom of the screen there? Do you see that? Do you see that specimen of an athlete down there?
Yeah. What was your trap routine, Jason?
I mean, look at that. What's going on?
Bro, look at those things.
Look at that collar. That's a sweet. That's a sweet shirt.
That is dope.
I think we had to take the shirt off, and the next person would wear it. Just like, honestly, I smelled like BO. I remember it was like, we all took turns wearing it. Yeah, that was those were back in the days. My nose wasn't as big. Hair was thicker.
You look like a dog though in that photo. You could tell, like you didn't fuck around on the field.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm getting little meathead vibes from that picture right there. A little bit.
Man, I mean, you had to put your best meathead foot forward when you're taking those photos.
Scout team player of the week several times that year. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's an accolade. But you know what? You're the fucking one of the greatest, if not the greatest GMs in the NFL. Okay, so I got to ask you right off the bat, because we see a lot of this energy and chemistry every single year going into camp. How much does it warm your heart to make the picks that you make with all the work that you guys put in behind the scenes, and then to see these guys kind of come in and almost immediately just fit right into the culture, to the camaraderie, the bonding that you see from these guys, from Tez and all the guys that you constantly bring in every single year? It seems they just all slide right in and they just join the family. How much does that warm your heart and kind of how rewarding does that feel for you?
It's super rewarding. It's awesome. My scouts have done a phenomenal job. They know exactly what I'm looking for. They know what this team's chemistry is made of. And the best compliments are when, these guys have been around for a little bit in the offseason, and then Mike Evans shows up, comes in and says, "Hey man, I love the rookies. You did it again. I love these guys." And that's like when you have Mike Evans, Levante, these guys that have been around saying, "Hey, you hit it out of the park with these guys as dudes." That's half the battle. So that's awesome.
The word that keeps on coming up with the rookie you drafted, even out of Mike Evans's mouth, is pro. Like he carries himself like a pro. He's prepared. He's intelligent. He doesn't need to be told what to do. Clearly, you shocked Bucs Nation. I don't know if you shocked the world. Most of us weren't expecting to hear Mecca's name come off the board during the draft, and you clearly kept a tight circle, because I didn't see even any mock drafts with his name. And I saw the interviews after the draft. You obviously had that guy targeted early on. What outside of what we already know do you love about Lamecca?
Well, I think quite a bit, because a lot has been said. He true pro, super mature. He's a dog. He's tough. The football is his life. He kind of carries himself like a 10-year pro already. And our Baker's been like all the way back to June. He has been super impressed with just his knowledge of the game. So there's things that you can do with him that you wouldn't normally be able to do with a normal rookie, that you'd have to wait till their second, third year, till they play a lot, just some adjustments and things like that. So he's a great guy. There's not a single person that you can find anything to say anything bad about him. The whole rookie class has been impressive. I can go on and on. Ben Morrison's been like that. And this Jacob Parrish is same thing. I don't think I've heard his name called out for a single mental error yet. So kind of the same thing. All these guys are really, really, really doing, exceeding their expectations. And we were really excited about them when we took them too.
Jason, real quick, Latte, I'll let you, I just want to mention, you and I had a conversation. I think I'm the one who tipped you off in November and said, doesn't this Emeka Ibuka guy remind you of Chris Godwin? And I just want to let you know, and maybe give you a chance here to give me credit for the pick, since I do have you on the show.
Did you? I think you did, right? I can go through my texts. I saved them.
Thank you.
We can go to the, we can go to the text and find out. But I do think I remember you saying something like that, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there you go, folks. I made that pick. My first ever pick is going to be a future Hall of Famer. Go ahead, Latte.
Now, I will say this. I want the folks to know that you also said that about 50 other players, too.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm a good guy. Okay. I'm a good guy.
Hey,
50 other Hall of Famers?
50 other Hall of Famers.
Hey, if one of them hits, can't miss. Okay.
That's right.
No, I was just going to touch on the fact that, I've heard you talk about it. You talked about it on our show how you miss more between the ears than you do the athletic ability, right? All the guys, it's the NFL, right? All these guys are athletic. They're all fast. They're all big. They're all strong. So like that mold, that Levante David mold, that Mike Evans mold, it just hit again. Emeka, like you hear the stuff from college, like, why didn't you come out last year? And it's like, well, because I'm a chain and link and there's a lineage here and I wanted to pass the torch on to the next guy. And when you hear that, it's like, golly, man, the guy, he could have come out last year and been a first round pick or a second, early pick. And to hear that just, it's that Levante David attitude, that team first, the name on the front more than the name on the back type stuff. And it's just a beautiful thing to see again.
Poppy, that was one thing when we were having our December meetings we have this series of December meetings. We meet for about 7-10 days and we just go through character and we have them on the board as where the area scout has them. We're not really adjusting the board at this point yet with cross checks and with what I think and what Beal or Rob or Spytek at the time thought. It's just the character stuff. And the one thing that, when the scouts told that story about how he wanted to stay and help the new young stud, that they have, adjust and be the next stud, that really just stayed with me. I mean, it just tells you what kind of kid he is. So that was, it just stayed with me for the months leading up to the draft. And it really was a big part of why why I ultimately took him.
Chase, we got to touch on a little bit of sad news. Okay. A lot of Bucs Nation pretty happy about this David Walker kid. That pick was one that we were really looking forward to. I think I tweeted days before, you could even blame me for this, I guess. I couldn't wait to see this guy this year, and I really thought he was going to be something special, especially being that he's going to be a rotational piece. Speak to what caught your eye about him, and also kind of maybe how, I don't want to say disheartening, but how, part of the game, obviously, but how it made you feel to see that and that terrible injury happen to him right before he kind of gets started.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was awful. It was your heart, just goes out to him. But it was sick to my stomach. I wasn't the only one. We all were, because we all saw it, what he was doing, and he was wreaking havoc out here, and we were all excited to see him with pads on. He's just got a really unique blend of athleticism and power and strength and effort and natural instincts. And whenever you watched him, whether it was, his college film or the Senior Bowl, he was just dominating. And, I think he's got a really, really, really bright future. And I guess the silver lining is next year, well, it's like an extra draft pick, and we'll have this guy that nobody really will know about. But it's he'll be he won't be forgotten about inside these walls here, but maybe nationally forgotten about a little bit, and then he'll really turn heads next year, and we'll have a really, really good chess piece on our defense next year.
Jason, that's got to be the worst part of your job. Like clearly it's part of every general manager's job in every sport. When those hits come and there's just no way to prepare yourself, you never know when they're going to come, and injuries happen in every sport. It's part of the game.
Oh, fuck. It's awful.
Yeah. And I'm sure it puts pressure on you and the coaching staff, because then you have to immediately scramble to figure out what your next move is going to be.
It's especially this time of year, training camp, and you just pray that there's not another injury. There's going to be a soft tissue or an ankle or a knee or a shoulder or something almost every day. It's just inevitable, but you just don't want a serious long-term one,
right?
Or one that's going to take a couple months or whatever it is. So I mean, before we have the indoor, when there was when we were rained out, or lightning or whatever thunderstorm was going to last all day, it was almost like yes, okay. One day that we don't have to get through, so people were saved that day. But I understand the importance of camp, the importance of getting the reps, the importance of the, grinding through the toughness and the heat and all that stuff, because it makes your team better at the end of the day. So I understand that, but it's, when a player is a really good player has to miss a couple days just because of a minor injury, it's I'm almost relieved. At times, I'm saying at times.
Listen, I heard too. I heard all the good things about him. But like you said, it's going to be a chess piece for next year. But I want to talk about some warm and fuzzy stuff. You know, we talk about the draft classes and we talk about this year's draft class. Let's talk about last year's draft class, because all I'm hearing out of camp, Jace, is that it is literally a clash of the titans between Barton and Vita. And I've seen the tape. I mean, they just go back and forth. That kid's grown so much. Just speak to that. I mean, because you know what it is with fans, right? They want to see it immediately. It's right now. And sometimes it takes a little bit of development. He was drafted for a reason. The RAS score was there for a reason, Jace. So I'll let you speak on that, because that's got to make you feel warm and fuzzy seeing Graham, you know, developing what he's doing in camp so far.
Yeah, he's gotten so much closer after a year with that whole group, which is an awesome group. And you know, anytime, I mean, he's incredibly smart and gifted and good football player, obviously a great athlete. But just anytime you get a year of experience with you under your belt, you know what to expect in camp. You know how to, you know, kind of pace yourself, get ready for the season. And you also know the ins and outs of your own team and how to play against a bigger guy like Vita, which is never going to be easy. And I don't think Barton any player would ever be able to dominate Vita in the trenches, but you at least know how to sustain or how to at least maneuver against him best you can. And he's been doing that, and he's a strong guy himself. But when you're going against Vita, Vita's kind of a one of one. But he's doing a good job versus him, though.
Jace, speaking of a second-year guy, you guys grabbed Tyke Smith last year. One of the dudes I was most excited about seeing, and he played phenomenally well in the moments that he had, and he was actually, you know, one of those game-changing guys, even as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys drafted him, was the plan in the back of your minds to progress him to eventually move into that safety spot / robber / you know, chess piece that Todd Bowles could play with? Or was that something that you guys kind of slowly learned over time throughout the season of, man, this guy's pretty savvy, his IQ is pretty high up there, he's maybe a little bit more than what even we thought? Or was that originally the plan, kind of going into it as a, let's see if we can get him to this point before we pull that trigger?
It was Todd was very adamant that he felt at some point this guy could become a very good safety. He didn't want to overload him too much his rookie year, any rookie. Just even though Tyke is incredibly smart and a smart football player and understands the game very well. But the plan was, in Todd's mind, our mind, that the second year, let's see what he can do at safety. And he's been thriving. You guys have been out there, I think, watching. He's making a play every day. I'm really, really excited, knock on wood, about getting to the season with Antoine and Tyke as our two safeties, two playmakers, two guys that can blitz, two guys that are tough, two guys with great instincts, with great ball skills, that make plays with effort, but also their athleticism. I think it's going to be night and day this year, our defense, compared to last year. I'm really looking forward to it.
He seems to have that knack for the football, like, you know, Antoine does, you know, like Ed Reed does, like guys that just know how to be in the right place at the right time, football intelligence, whatever it is.
Get their hand in there at the right time, strip the ball, break up a pass.
Hands on ball.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's those guys that seemingly their hands are always on the balls. And he's one of those guys, right? And we love those guys on this pod.
Well, Todd said Todd is the one who said he needed to see more of that. And it's really been the theme of this podcast ever since.
Hands on balls.
Get your hands on balls. And so I know, and I've heard out of camp that you guys, the young guys that you just drafted this year, you know, picking off Kyle Trask, picking off Baker Mayfield, they're getting their hands on their balls. And that's what gets us excited.
Really quick interruption. We have 2 super chats.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Speaking of hands on balls, I'll go ahead.
Speaking of hands on balls, we got intern Vixen chiming in.
Going here.
Vixen, that second one.
Especially after Stank, are you on your third Yingling or your?
I started with a Kieran and I moved over to Yingling. So yeah.
Oh, I like Kieran.
Yeah.
Not as good spotted cow though, bro.
Really quick, B Loggins said with the $5 super chat, can we please just refer to Jason Light as our Lord and Savior, Jason Light? LOL. Great draft this year, Jason. And then $10 super chat coming in with Jonathan Rivera says, can the Bucs fans expect to see Chris Godwin Jr. actively participate at all during the training camp?
That's so. Which question should we address first? Was the first one a question, or was that?
No,
a
I think the
statement?
first one was simply, yeah.
Just a statement.
That was
a
throwing
loud
some
statement.
flowers at
Okay.
you.
No
Yeah.
statement.
We're going to be careful with Chris. We're going to do it. You know, we didn't draft Emeka because of Chris's injury. I just kind of want to make that clear. And now though that we do have Emeka, it makes it. We can make sure that we do it the right way with Chris. We can take our time. We signed Chris. We're thinking long term here with him. We signed him to a 3-year deal. Don't want to put him out there before he's, before it's time.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if we'll see him out there in training camp or not. You'll probably see him working on the side. But we'll see. It's kind of too early to tell, but he's progressing well. And, he's a warrior, as you guys know.
Absolutely.
Jason,
Stud.
we're talking about Emeka, and we're talking about Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Tez and this guy and that guy and Bucky and you got the tight ends, the trifecta. But there's a guy that's got to give him the ball, right? Like, that's a freaking dog. I mean, Baker Mayfield embodies what it is to be in the Tampa Bay area, right? Like, he just fits like a glove. Love Tom. Love the freaking Super Bowl. Love all that. Can't deny it. But Baker's just,
Cooler.
He's
just cooler.
I'm just bricked up, Jason.
He's just cooler, man.
Talk about
Yeah.
freaking Baker, and then what kind of a camp is he having, man? I know I've been blessed enough, thank you, to graze the halls and see. And the guy's a dog, man. The team loves him. He embodies it. It's just, he is a Buccaneer. Can you talk about what kind of camp he's having this year? How's he looking? What do we expect? What camp?
He's doing a great job. Grizz is doing a great job. Todd's getting Grizz ready for prime time with all of a lot of our periods being call-up periods where he's calling the plays. So he's getting used to that. What can I say about Bake? He is one of the toughest guys I've ever been around, regardless of position. Now, Tom was tough too. Tom, you'd have to be dead to not play. But Baker's wired the same way. And Baker's just got juice to him that everybody wants to follow him. So, including myself. So hopefully in my tenure here, we never have another quarterback. Hopefully the day I retire, Baker's still playing because I don't want to, it's going to be hard to follow up Brady and then Baker with another quarterback. And there's going to be big shoes to fill for both of them. But Baker, with just the way he won over the city, it's like you can't go anywhere without somebody talking about him. So it's and how much they love him. It's amazing, actually, for a guy to follow up a Hall of Famer, the GOAT, and be almost as revered, if not the same, in this city. It's incredible.
Yeah, Jason, what's crazy about him is his ability to kind of bring a swagger to this team following the act of Tom Brady. That's like, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like even that must have surprised you guys to an extent, right? To the ability to just be this firecracker from day one, and the guys
as quickly as he did it. Yeah. No doubt.
So that kind of, bleeds into the question I was going to ask is a lot of guys nationally have been to camp. We got the NFL Network guys that we see, the NFL radio guys, and some of these other reporters, and they've all kind of come away with this team carries itself like a team that knows how good it can be. What does that mean to you? And is that kind of the vision or, what you guys have been building towards, which is a team that understands what they're capable of, understands the moment, and holds themselves, to a standard that's higher than just let's go win another conference or another division championship and maybe win a couple of games in the playoffs?
Yeah, there's a different air now. In the past, there was more, hey, screw them for thinking that we're not going to be good and we're going to prove them wrong. Now it's more, there's still a little bit of that, and I hope it always remains, but it's a little bit more like, okay, now let's prove that we are a good team, but let's now show them that we're a very good team. And that we're being hunted a little bit more than we were. So now, but there's a certain swagger and confidence that we know that, and now it's time to step up, and it's time to step up and be better than what we have been, which has been pretty good.
Jason, that's been the difference since you brought Bruce Arians into the building. Honestly, it's like the level of belief has only grown, and obviously bring Tom in, who isn't going to follow that guy, who isn't going to believe that the ultimate goal is attainable. I don't, and you said it earlier, like, I don't believe that national media gives Baker any credit for following Tom Brady. It's just crazy. Nobody even mentions it outside of this circle. So you've said it before, and I've heard others mention that the locker room is special. It was special last year, just the environment. And I guess it all starts with Baker. It has to, right?
Well, he certainly adds a lot to it, but I would say Mike and Levante have a pretty good say in that too, and have their, they're legends, and they're living legends, and they're a big part of this, obviously. So, but Baker certainly adds to it, and those guys really love Baker as well. So the whole combination there. I mean, I could go on and on with, like, Chris Godwin is another one. So one of the more respected players in the history of this franchise. So it's one of those things that, 20 years from now, I'm going to be looking back and it's going to be, I'm going to realize that I know it's special now, but I'm going to realize just how extraordinarily special it is.
You mean when you're one of the hosts of the show, like a permanent host? Is that what you're talking about?
That's right. Yeah. When I take Sammer's job.
Damn.
Pretty much impossible considering
Wow.
how beautiful I make you guys look on the show.
You
Jason,
got to earn your spot every year, Sammer. You got to earn your spot every year.
I mean, I'm earning it. I mean, what are we talking about here? I unearthed a photo from the Nebraska program. It's in an encyclopedia at this point in one of their libraries, and somehow it's at the bottom of the show here. Okay, so Jace, when I introduced you, I talked about how you consistently are able to get guys to come back and over and over again. One of those names that seems to happen every single year, Levante David. Okay, and Levante David doesn't necessarily have anything else left to prove. He's proven his worth throughout the league. People respect him. Obviously, Tampa Bay knows what he's about. He's won a Super Bowl. He's had ridiculous numbers. He's been a leader. He's the fucking template that you guys use to fucking draft guys, right? So for him to come back again, and then last week to mention, me coming back speaks to what I believe this group can handle and what this group can accomplish. How much does that kind of reaffirm in your mind, in the front office mind, of what you guys are building, and kind of, re-solidify that belief that you guys have to hear it from a guy like him to say it and be like, that's one of the reasons I came back. I didn't come back here to win 6 games. I'm thinking Super Bowl. And you must be like, God damn, yeah, so are we, buddy.
Speaks volumes. I don't think there could be a bigger statement from a better player to say what he did, to kind of attest to what we're building here and what we're doing here. Levante is, he's one of the most underrated players, I think, in the history of the franchise, for sure, but history of the game. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's a case study. Somebody could crack the code and realize why he's not talked about more in those circles. I think he will be. I think he is a Hall of Famer for sure. 100%. He should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But he's just so low key about it, and it doesn't seem to bother him. It bothers me more than him, I think. It bothers you guys more than it bothers him. And that's just the way Levante's wired. But Levante is one of those quiet, but fierce competitors. And I would never want to meet Levante in an alley if he was pissed off. You can see it in his eyes in game day that, it's that Michael Jordan-ish, type of look that, when he goes out there and then he ends up making a game-changing play, he's special. He's special, man.
Who's a bigger Nebraska legend? You or Levante?
Good question.
Yeah, like
Kenny
that.
Bell was a bigger Nebraska legend than
that dog at the bottom of the screen right there. If he meets Levante in that alleyway, who's winning?
Yeah.
Who's winning?
I would never go against Levante. Come on.
All right, that's a good answer.
Did he? Hey, Jason, did he inspire you to sign guard Michael Jordan? Because you just mentioned.
Because of what I just said.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Did you guys think you were
one
signing a different Michael Jordan by chance? The scouts get the wires wrong there.
Jace, what was it like? We asked him yet. We had him on the show. We've asked other players and stuff, but what was it like being on the field and watching 13 crack 1,000 yards yet again in the last seconds of the game after Bucky has scored, and all the grown men around me in my section, including myself and Stank, were crying because we're like, he's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it.
I was actually in the booth. I was in my booth watching, and I think I kind of told this story to somebody, but I can't remember who, but it was BA was texting me. I was telling him, you got to tell Todd to call fucking timeout. You know, like, it's like, we got to get Mike. You got to get Mike his yards. And once we got the ball back, I got in the elevator and I just ran down to the locker room, and I wasn't going to have enough time to get out to the field. So I watched it with Brad Berlin from our locker room. And we were all jumping around like little kids. And I mean, it was insane. That's going to go down as at least top 5 moment in
AJ for sure.
My career with the Bucs. It was incredible. That was so awesome.
They kicked me out of the seat because they blamed it on me that it wasn't going to happen. So they made me and my daughter leave the section. And
watch
so
the sushi restaurant.
Yeah. Once it looked like it was about to happen, I went back over to my section. We're standing behind our seats. And then it was like we won the Super Bowl. It was really one of the best moments I've had in all my years as a Bucs fan. We loved it for Mike. I think everybody felt it for Mike. It was just such a great moment, man.
How about that? How about the deal that the Bucs did, that Stephen Lynch did? You know, followed him the whole time in the camera. Yep. He captured the whole thing. That was incredible.
Awesome. Coming down the sidelines. That was just
through the tunnel. I was sitting there waiting for him. I mean, it was like, oh my God. It was incredible. It was awesome.
Jason, I do have to, before we get too far ahead, but what went through your mind? Because we asked Mike and we told him what we were thinking. What went through your mind when Bucky scored? Because Mike was like, and Mike was, he went over and gave him a high five, celebrate, let's get the win. And it is what it is first. So he's very team guy first. Obviously, you model the draft around Levante and Mike. Mike was your first draft pick, but he's very team first, and that's why people love him. But what were your thoughts? Because his initial was, he said he went shit, and then it was like, okay, well, we scored, let's go.
It was probably one of the most confusing moments in my life, at least in my professional career, that it was a tight game. I mean, we had to win that game. I mean, we had to score. So of course, clinching the division, for the 4th year in a row, it was awesome. But then I was like, Mike didn't get us. A lot of things were going through my head. It's like, oh, is this Mike going to hang it up? And then by the grace of God, we get the ball back, and it all happens. So we don't have to talk about hypotheticals anymore.
Yeah, the defense deserves credit.
Shout out to the defense, by the way. Yeah,
shout out to the defense.
I was going to say, Jace, it may have been one of the most confusing moments in your life. Definitely not top 5. Not top 5 for Stank in terms of confusing moments in his lifetime. Friend of this show, by the way, John Spytek. All right. Guy, obviously one of your dudes, if not, I want to say maybe your best friend in terms of the front office. I don't want to get you in trouble with other people in the office there, but he worked with you guys the entire season, right? And then all of a sudden he gets the job with the Raiders. Now you go into the draft, and I'm thinking in my head, like, this guy's done the homework for you guys, right? He's been a big part of what you guys are looking at. So how much of it was kind of interesting, maybe back and forth, maybe some shit talking through text messages on, all 3 days of those draft, kind of seeing him looking at, maybe thinking, hey, they're probably looking at the same shit that we're looking at because motherfucker, he wrote some of this shit on our board for us.
Well, the board changes so much from December until April. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of information that comes in. There's a lot of, I haven't watched half the players at that point until, I start the bulk of the players that I do watch, and Rob and Mike Beal come in those months after. So, and John for that matter too. He probably left here with a copy of the board that we had, and it didn't bother me one bit because it's going to change so much. and then we actually, there's other players that were added to the front board, since he left. So there's a lot of shit talking. And one of my favorite things to say is after they take somebody in the 3rd or 4th round, I go, shit, you're killing our free agency board here. Things like that. So, what do you mean you didn't have him that high? Oh yeah, no, we had that guy's a $50 free agent. You took him in the 3rd, so damn it.
I talked shit for you though. Every pick he made, I sent him a text message. Like, that's terrible. Every single pick, man. I did it for you. Don't worry.
That was horrible.
I actually think they did it. They did a heck of a job. He did. He did a hell of a job there. I mean, his Ashton Genty is my Mike Evans, so I think he's first overall pick as a GM. So I think he made a pretty damn good pick there.
So you're proud GM Papa right now.
Oh yeah.
I texted him right after the Genty pick, and I'm like, it's a phenomenal pick. I get it, Jason, but being from your front office tree, I was like, he's gonna go lineman. There's no way he's going lineman. And when he took Genty, I was like, well, it's a great freaking pick. Either way, he couldn't have gone wrong. And Genty is gonna be a stud. I took him in Dynasty. Yes,
Jason. You mentioned that Bruce Arians texted you during the game. How often does Bruce Arians text you during the game? And can you share some of the other just fun things he tells you during these games?
Also, has he ever texted you without explicitives?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
It either has an explicitive or a emoji of a mug or a cocktail glass.
Cocktail glass.
Yeah, like a bourbon.
Yes.
And that's his moniker. I probably shouldn't share most of the things he says, but he's very animated. You can tell when he's had a couple cocktails. You can tell when he's in a great mood. We talk a lot. We still text a lot to this day, and he'll always be one of my best friends. And I'll try to sneak a scouting trip in the University of Georgia, maybe South Carolina, sneak that in Clemson, but then also go down and golf with him at his place at some point. He's just always somebody that's going to be there for me to bounce things off of, and what better person to do than him?
Absolutely, man.
Agreed. Now,
I believe we have a super chat question real quick, Vixen.
Yes, we sure do. From All Pros Buck 45 for a $5 super chat. It says, it is very hard to find a weakness on this team. Do you believe, Jason, this is the deepest team you've ever assembled?
Good question.
Better question we've come up with.
It is a topic of conversation around here a lot. We do like the depth, knock on wood. Now that can change in any given moment. And that's just a testament to the scouts and the scouting staff and the coaching staff. One thing our players develop only one of the main reasons. We pick the right players, but our players develop because our coaches aren't afraid to play these young players and get them out there. A lot of coaches are afraid to play the young players, and they want the veteran. They'll take the veteran that may be slower and has regressed in his talent, in terms of his talent, but they'll know what to do. Our coaches are not afraid to put the young guys out there. As you saw in our Super Bowl year, we had our secondary was all young guys. So and
our left tackle,
and our
right tackle at the time,
right tackle at the time, yeah. So anyway, I really can't really pick a weakness out right now. I mean, maybe I could, but I won't say it here. But I guess it would be the lesser of the strengths. Maybe that's a better way of saying it, because I don't want.
Listen, Jason, you could say it to Stank's face. Yeah. It's okay. He wasn't good enough last year. He wasn't in the facility enough times. He wasn't. He's taken ownership of the baby oil foot rub position in the building, and I don't think he was good enough last year. You're right.
Who are you talking about now?
I get veterans days. What are you talking about? I don't need to show up in training camp.
Who are you talking about? You talking about Stank, or who are you talking about?
Stank.
Yeah,
Stank.
Stank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was here before Levante David. That's how old I am. All right. I don't have to show up to practice. I'm already made, just like Christian Isian. I made the team already. Coach already said I made the team. So.
Wow. I think they have a template of Stank of who we're not going to go after every single year.
Have Levante David and then Stank.
Stank's on the opposite wall.
Way on the other spectrum. Jace, we talked a little bit about Mike. You touched on a little bit the call it sessions and stuff with Grizzard. This is what the third year in a row Todd has to hire a new offensive coordinator. What's it looking like so far? I know the offense they've said is pretty similar. I saw some Rashad screens and didn't see a lot of those last year. That was exciting. What are the thoughts so far? How's the offense looking in camp? How's Grizzard handling the call it sessions?
Latte correction. Todd's not hiring those guys by himself, just so you know.
Todd has done a great job. Todd's done a great job of hiring these guys. It looks good. It's coming along. We're still early in camp. It's been good. It's been trying some new things. Grizz and his staff are young, which is kind of fun that they aren't afraid to try new things and new ideas every day and tinker and all that kind of stuff. And it's been good. Our defense has been lights out, though. Our defense has been, Todd's been bringing the kitchen sink in every team drill, it seems like, bringing 7 guys and, from all over the place. Just to get the offense ready. So they've been answering the bell, though. It's been fun to watch.
He knows not to fuck up Mike's streak, right? Like he knows.
He better not.
Get Mike.
I think BA texts him an explicitive text every single day to make sure he doesn't forget. That's just what I'm hearing. Jace, how important has it been, or I guess how much of an advantage has it been for Todd from a defensive standpoint to get rookies like Morrison and Parrish, who come in and just almost immediately seem to be ahead of the curve, IQ much higher than maybe you'd expect from a rookie, holding themselves as professionals, to where he can now kind of install maybe a little bit quicker, maybe put a little bit more on their plate, and let that defense kind of see everything that it's supposed to be. Because, a lot of the guys on that team on that side of the ball already have been here. They know the defense. They know the terminology, and having a rookie, slide in and kind of learn almost slows them down. But it seems that these guys have been so kind of prepped and so professional that it's given Todd somewhat of a leg up in terms of getting things ready at a faster and quicker pace.
100%. It's one of the things that we think makes up a good football player is not just, their God-given talent, but, what they have above the neck. So, and it helps in the whole process. It's part of the whole, profile of a player. So when those guys are described like what you just said, which they are, makes it that much easier to get ready to play. So we scouted that part of them too. So that was some of the main reasons that we took them.
Yeah, love that Parrish kid, man.
Jason, you talk a lot about the great players we have on this team. All right, we've got a lot of great players. We started off talking about Vita and the obvious, and Levante and Mike Evans, Tristan Wirfs, who's probably he's gonna take a lot of your money. He's gonna be really expensive. He's gonna be here for a long time.
He did.
The next guy up. Why is it Kalijah Kancey? Why is that guy gonna be an absolute superstar in your mind?
First of all, he's incredibly athletic. Sometimes when you're squinting, you don't know if it's Levante or Kalijah, chasing down a ball carrier. He runs like a linebacker. He's so quick off the ball, so cat-like quick. His reflexes are incredible. And for a smaller guy, he does play with good leverage, and he is strong. He's got pop. He's got explosive hips. And he's just got a real nose for the ball and knows how to use his hands. And he's a dog. I mean, if I wouldn't be surprised if, you fast forward here into the season and we, that movie Click, if we just could fast forward and Kalijah's not, one of the, if not the best 3 technique in the league. He's got everything. He's got the toolbox for it. It's a matter of keeping him healthy, and so far so good. Knock on wood, light a candle, say a prayer. So everything's been kind of trending that way. He amazes us every day of some of the things that he does on the field.
Yeah, agreed. Couldn't agree more. I want to talk about another guy too that kind of popped last year, and I think he's kind of primed for just an insane year. How's 27 looking out there? Zion.
Good old Zion.
Zion looks good. It's hard to find guys that are 6'2", 200 pounds, run 4.38, are smart, phenomenal kids, work hard, all those things, and have the athleticism that he has. And he's only started 1 year. He had a good year. He's got a chance to ascend to be an A+ type player in this league. So, and so far so good. He's looking good.
Does it
Jace.
help to have pressure behind them? Like you just drafted two young Bucks who studs coming out of camp. You already hear, oh, these guys are flying around. That's got to help a guy like Zion grow, right?
That helps. Hassan Reddick helps. I think our pressure packages are going to be a lot different this year. Yaya looks like the Yaya that we all saw last year before he got hurt in camp. And I don't know. I'm very, very excited. Very can't wait for the first week. I know we got a little time. We have a lot of things we have to do between now and then, but it's gonna be fun to watch. That's for sure. I've said that 100 times, but
Obviously, you answered questions about the signing of Hassan Reddick. You guys knew what you're, looking at with him. You obviously made I think a phenomenal choice to add him to this team. So far in camp, there's a lot of dumb talk ahead of him. Not being at voluntary camps and all that. But now in training camp, what have you seen from him in terms of his ability to be a leader, to be a mentor, to be a coach to the younger guys like Chris and even Yaya? And what have you seen from him physically, just on the field? Obviously, pads haven't been on there too many times so far, but what have you guys seen from him on the field and obviously, as a leader in that room? And has it been something you guys expected, or has it maybe even, exceeded some of those expectations?
well, on the field, first of all, he came here in incredible shape. You could tell he was training his ass off. And he is very explosive, fast, twitchy, but strong. He's a lot stronger than I thought. He gives these tackles. He's given Luke some troubles. I mean that in a good way, in a complimentary way of Hassan. And, he's not just a speed rusher. He's got speed to power, which is very important. And in the locker room, I think everybody was kind of taken back a little bit how genuinely, how much gratitude he had to be here and his role as a leader with these young guys. I mean, he's talking to them between every play. Everybody likes him. I mean, he's really fit in really well, and he really likes this locker room. He loves being here, and I think he's somewhere where he just feels very comfortable here. And everybody's been taken aback, but how great of a guy he was. And I don't know if it's that they saw that he held out last year and for most of the year and whatever, and they just kind of made some assumptions of what he was like. But he's actually he is that man. So he's turned out to be. So hopefully he's here for a while.
Jace, when his name started popping up in trade talks last year, did you guys take a look at that? Were you guys thinking about it? Were you guys, that'd be an interesting piece to add, or was it too soon, too expensive, that scenario?
I think it was a little bit too soon, but definitely was in the back of my mind as this could be the type of signing that we've had success with here. Bringing him in here, he just never really got it going last year after sitting out, and it's hard when you're sitting out all of offseason, all of training camp, the first however many games. It's always hard to get your feet back under you. But I thought that this would be a great opportunity to get somebody at a good price that has a lot to prove. And then, we'll see what happens after that. So it's kind of like a little bit like Shaq, but a little different. But at the same time, the way we signed Shaq, and he had a lot to prove in that 1 year to get another bite at the apple. And I like when we sign these guys that want another bite at the apple, and they're
I was going to say,
motivated.
You've
Jason
been
Licht special.
Our quarterback is one of those guys, right?
I was going to say similar bigger, yeah.
100%.
Guys who are looking to prove themselves. There's a guy on this roster that I felt like had a pretty good season last year, is ascending. He's got a lot to prove. Logan Hall. Where do you see his career right now? And ultimately, you keep your guys, and I know you love keeping your draft picks. What does Logan have to do to get to the next level?
He's made huge strides last year, and I think he really made huge strides in this offseason. He just looks a little different, looks leaner, looks quicker. He looks like he's refined his hand use a little bit, and that's with coaching has helped a lot with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Logan had a big year as well. He's had a really good camp so far. and then we'll just have to see where the chips lie. We've got a lot of really good players. We've got a lot of really good ones whose contracts are up or they're going to be up. And it's going to be tough to keep everybody. Once again, we did it one time, but after the Super Bowl. But it's part of the chess game that we're going to have to. Right now, I'm just kind of focused on getting through the year and trying to win the championship this year.
You got a secret weapon, Jason. You got Mike Greenberg. You got the secret weapon, dude. I mean,
yeah, but it's not bullshit to say that guys want to be here. We talked about Mike and Levante and how they've worked with you to be here because they want to be here. Like, that's a thing here. That's not a thing in every other franchise, guys.
It's not a thing in New Orleans.
Yeah, look at what Chris Godwin did. And I don't know how much of it's actually factual, but it's been reported he turned down way more money, to stay here in New England, offering a ton of money. But that speaks volumes about the culture you've helped build along with the Glazers.
Well, we have a great city. We have great owners. It's what other place would you want to live other than Tampa, to be honest with you?
That's true.
We have an awesome coach who has a great culture here. And so I just don't want to take them for granted and assume that every single player is going to just say, we can just wait their contract out and they're going to come back, or, we can lowball them. They're going to take less here. I can't assume that because they're not all going to do that. Unfortunately, some have, which has enabled us to keep a lot of the players. But there's a lot of reasons why the players do want to come back here, and it's one of the reasons I think that we will be able to sustain this success that we've had.
Jace, Luke Gedicke, a guy that probably going to be, one of these dudes that we're all going to be talking about in this coming offseason, if not sooner. But I know how proud you are of him, just considering, the process it kind of took to get him to the Luke that we see now. How proud are you of, his ability to become, I think, a top 5 tackle, which is crazy to say considering the other side has fucking Tristan Wirfs on it, right? And how important and how big of a key has he been to this offense's success to be able to be the guy that he is right now?
Yeah, I remember vividly the moment that Todd and I were sitting in my office actually talking about what we were going to do at left tackle. And we both just kind of on a sit and spitball, and it was like, we should move Tristan to left. I mean, he's an athletic guy, that super athlete with very strong, obviously he's all those qualities as he has. He should be able to handle it. And then why don't we kick Luke back out to right tackle? I mean, the knock on him was he had shorter arms and those kind of things and didn't look like a tackle, looked more like a guard. But this is what we liked about him in college, is he was playing right tackle and the way that he played at right tackle. So it worked, and he endured a rough rookie year. Now, I don't know if we kept him at guard, I think he would have adjusted. It takes an adjustment there from going inside, from tackle to guard. You have bullets flying at you from different directions and all directions instead of when you're sitting there at tackle kind of on an island. So I think he would have adjusted just knowing the type of guy that he is. But to answer your question, very proud of what he's become. I think he's one of the top right tackles in the league, and we're fortunate to have him. Hopefully he's here for a long time.
Better be.
I couldn't agree more. Super chats. Go ahead.
Last one.
We have 3 super chats I need to catch up on really quick.
Holy crap.
Yeah. One of them is from Fernando, $5 super chat. He said, with our Super Bowl window now open, will we be more aggressive at getting veteran free agents in the upcoming future?
Well, we're always going to look at anything, people that become available, but we've got a lot of our own players that we're going to have to take care of. And I think that's going to be more of the priority, to be honest with you. But we'll take a look at everything. And a lot of players that become available that are known commodities that you can walk down your neighborhood and people know who they are or heard who they are. It's not always the right fit. It's not always the right fit. Guys have, they do move on past their prime. And then inevitably some team, still signs them to big deals, and then they're disappointed. And you just want to make sure that you're not doing that too often. But, in our case in 2020, Gronk was definitely not past his prime, and Brady certainly wasn't past his prime, and AB, what he did for us in 2020 wasn't past his prime. So, but we just you got to be careful. I think, like, to answer your question, we're going to prioritize our own.
Okay.
Jason, you spoiled the fans. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You did. It's just your fault, right?
Yeah.
You forgot about Lenny, and you forgot about LaShawn. You forgot about that. And now Bucs fans are like, it's Madden, and you know it. I'm sure they at you at every single free agent becomes about. Jason, sign him.
Make it happen, Jason.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
So it's your fault, dude.
That's what happens. You took him to
How are
Toys
we
R
not
Us.
going after this guy.
Took him to Toys R Us and said, "Buy whatever you fucking want." And now all of a sudden you're telling him, "Nah, we're not going to Toy. We're not even going to Dollar Tree."
Sammer, there's a reason Toys R Us is closed.
Yeah, nobody likes that stupid giraffe. You pick a giraffe as a mascot, your company is doomed. Okay, you gotta just trust me. I build. It's not a mascot. See,
Wife's
Oh
favorite
my
animal.
gosh.
Be careful.
I got my first Sega Genesis from there.
great animal. You could put 3 or 4 ties on that thing. They look phenomenal. But what I'm saying is, it's not a mascot. You should be building a brand around. All right. And yes, Latte, the fact that he had to ask if I had a giraffe tells you all you need to know about how I prioritize mascotting around here. Okay, that's why.
Okay.
Did we ask Jason a question? He doesn't know what to say.
No, he's a big giraffe guy.
No,
I can read him the other super chats with the questions.
Go ahead. Yeah. Move on. Move on.
Yeah. Moving on. So All Bucks Pro 45 asked, what does a typical day in the NFL GM during training camp look like?
at the beginning of training camp until there's preseason games, it's a little different. You come in, you go to practice, you watch film, you watch it with your scouts, you have discussions about, how our players look. I'll meet with Bobby, our trainer, a lot. You're watching some tape of last year's stuff, but once the game starts, so tonight there's a game, so we're all excited that we'll have a game to scout now. It'll be in the system tonight, so we can watch it. But once the games start next week, all of my scouts are watching, evaluating every player that we think is kind of a bubble player, somebody that they may get cut. So we can start formulating our lists of that we use during the season. Call them, like you can call it a ready list, whatever. Guys that be ready to come in and work out if they get cut and fill a role in practice squad or whatever. So right now, I don't want to say it's boring at all. It's just not quite as much activity until the games start getting played.
So you don't wake up in the morning, put your face in ice water, hit the gym, make yourself, like these influencers do. You don't have that kind of routine every single morning.
Not every morning, no.
Well, look, Jason, breaking news. Commanders star wide receiver Terry McLaurin has reportedly requested a trade. Go get him, Jason.
Yeah. What do you think about getting another wide receiver one?
Yeah.
We'll have 5. It'll be an unbelievable.
We want to be first. What do you do? What are you waiting? Go get him.
I know, man. You should probably hang up right now and just get this going. Jace, appreciate your time. I want to give the lovely Loose Cannons Vixen, our intern, her shot to ask you a question before we end the show. She has done a good job tonight. Uncharacteristic of our interns, typically, Jason. Now, while you're drafting Hall of Famers, we're struggling out here.
Okay, so this is kind of a silly question, all right? But if there was a zombie apocalypse, who on the Bucs roster would survive the longest and who is going out first?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Making them think.
My money's on Baker.
Are making me think. I would. Well, I think Luke would last.
I was about to say I'm going Gadecki.
Yeah, he would definitely last the longest. I mean,
He'd be out there eating zombie brains. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
He's a badass, bro.
All right.
Well, without thinking about it too, it's just, he wouldn't think about the repercussions or anything. And then who would go out first? That's a tough. I mean, I'm going to throw somebody under the bus by saying that.
Yeah, you need to do it.
You kind of need to. You know how you got to light a fire under someone's ass sometimes?
Yeah.
This is a way for you to subliminally send a message. Send a message, little Phil Jackson type mind game right here.
Greenberg.
Oh, hell yeah. I like that. I like that. No offense. We love you, Mike. We got shorter legs. You're probably not going to outrun many of these zombies.
Oh, he's fast, though. He is quick.
I feel like he would negotiate his freedom.
He'd be out there like, hold on. Let me calculate you a way out of this. All right, hold on. He's out there with pulling levers and shit, printing out receipts. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, man. Unless you guys have any more last
Jason, you have any questions for us?
Yeah. We've gotten you on here a handful of times. You've never really asked us a question, Jason.
Now, Hassan Reddick transition, amazing, by the way. That was a really good one. So that was a good, because you knew we were going to ask you about him. So I give you kudos for that.
Pro. This is why he's going to replace you, Stank.
Well, can we set up another session? Give me a little time to come up with questions for all of you, including you, Vixen.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yay.
Just so you know, Jason, we never prepare for your shows, just so you know.
No, we never.
I've always thought, like, when I'm done, I may want to have some kind of a show where I'm like evaluating the analysts out there. Like, I'm going to say, can you believe what, Adam Rank said about, I mean, he's down my power rank. He's the number.
You want to power rank the assholes that try to tell you how to do your job. Is that what you're saying right now?
Yes.
Hey, Jason.
Todd.
Jason.
I'm telling you.
We'll call it Jason's shit list.
No. It's called keeping receipts.
Keeping receipts with Jason Light. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, Jason, actually, I do have one final question. When they inevitably do build your Jason Light statue at $1, will it be the one where you're in the boat holding the fucking beer? Just vertically, just absolute phenomenal pose, by the way. You look like a pro's pro on that boat. No wiggle, no fear of falling into the water. Is that your statue at $1?
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be.
That's Jason Light in his element.
But here, think about this, Stank. They could turn it into an actual live fountain. They just run and have it actually pouring beer out all the time. Right?
That beer was warm too. The cooler didn't work on that boat for whenever we ran out of ice or whatever. So Bruce and I were drinking warm Bud Lights.
But imagine a giant fountain, right? Get rid of that dumb football thing they got in front there, right? Put a giant fountain out there, and we could just throw quarters in that fountain as that just, it could even be beer. Fuck it. Have beer coming out of that statue just on a loop, dude. It'd be phenomenal. And, throw a quarter in there, make a wish, Jason Light will fucking grant it types. Think about that. Just flick a quarter and ask for a free agent. You'll be retired, so it won't be on your shoulders, right? It'll be on some asshole who's going to have to follow your ridiculous mountain of a shadow, right? So who gives a fuck?
In the pocket, it's got to have just like a bundle of receipts.
Just receipts everywhere, just tossing quarters. Yeah, boom. Yeah. Peyton, Arch Manning, just throwing fucking quarters in there every fucking time we walk by it. Whoever that GM's not going to be able to live up to it. So either way, right? You're going to leave him in a fucking wake, dude. It's going to be unbelievable. Jason fucking Light on the loose cannons. Hey, listen.
When are we doing the wings?
Jace, we're in town on Tuesday. Okay, we're going to be at training camp on the 5th. Yeah. So you know how it works. I'm buying you lunch, whether you want to or not. Okay, we're stuffing you with wings, and press box. Obviously, that's your joint. You know how it works. So we'll see you on Tuesday, and unless you want to give out some happy birthdays or shout outs or anything like that.
My birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Vixen. Just recently occurred.
It's actually my mom's birthday on Tuesday, so.
Yay!
You know what?
Come with it.
Tell your mother I said happy birthday. She doesn't know me, but tell her. Tell her Vixen said happy birthday.
I will.
So you want us to bring wings to practice, by the way? Just
I can just bring my wings and my steak. I just bring it in.
Can we wheel? Hold on. Real question though. Can you get us clearance to wheel out a grill under that tent area that we sit in?
No, I can't.
Okay, you can't. All right. Well, hey, worth a try. Worth a try. Worth a try. Jace, thank you so much. Have a good night and go watch some fucking football, man. We're back. We are back, baby. What a show. Hell yeah. Go Bucs.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
Go Bucs.
It's kickoff. set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got birth.